Hi, welcome to the Brief Book Reviews channel, otherwise known as An Old Guy Reviews the Book that he's read this week. So what's the old guy read this week? Well, the book I read this week is this one. It's called Death in the Arctic by author Tom Hindle. It was released as a hardback by Century here in the United Kingdom on the 16th of January 2025. And it's the author's fourth book. Previous books were called A Fatal Crossing, The Murder Game, and Murder on Lake Garda. All well received, all murder mysteries, and Tom Hindle has been described as a more modern day Agatha Christie in that his mysteries tend to involve lots of characters and lots of closed room type mysteries. I've upped my game this week because last week there was a closed room mystery on a boat, Murder on the Marlow Belle. This week it's an airship. An airship, I hear you say? What's it all about? Well, central character is a lady called Chloé Campbell. Chloé is a travel blogger. She was brought up, she travelled a lot when she was a child. She had a French mother, so her parents lived in France for quite a while, and her father had a job that took him to Germany and to Singapore. So travels in her bones, if you will, and she's an aspiring travel blogger, but so far has struggled and is making a living by doing a bit of copywriting, freelance copywriting. She's split up with her boyfriend. She's living in one of her old university friends' old spare rooms, and is struggling to make a living as a travel blogger. So imagine her surprise when she gets a call out of the blue from a guy called Alex, who's the editor of a well-known top-of-the-range travel magazine. She's pitched various stories to him before, but never been successful. And he said, "I've got a job for you. There's a travel experience that's taking place this weekend, and I need it covered." I was going to go because the COO of the company involved is an ex-schoolmate of mine, but I can't go. There's a family emergency. Son's got to have an operation, and all my normal freelancers are busy. So I'll give you a chance. You go on this trip, do a good job, and maybe there'll be some more business for you in the future. I'll send a photographer. His name's Ben. He'll come with you. So off you go. And she says, so what's the gig then? And he said, well, it's a 2-day trip on a luxury airship over the North Pole. And she's thinking, oh, blimey, well, fair enough. A job's a job. I said, yeah, the COO is an ex-schoolmate of mine. I'm sure you'll have a wonderful experience. It's a luxury, top-of-the-range experience, and I need an article that covers that aspect. And Ben will take the photos. So do you fancy it? And she says, well, yeah, of course I do. So off she goes to Norway for the 2-day trip. And it turns out the company's called Skyline Voyages. Their airship is called Osprey. The COO is a guy called Ezra Day. Ezra's father, Isaac, was killed in a tragic skiing accident a couple of years ago. But Isaac and his partner Howard Barnes were great entrepreneurs and great adventurers. And Ezra, still working with Howard, one of the original founders of Skyline, to bring his father's dream to fruition. So the passengers are Ezra, the COO, Howard, the owner, a couple of Ezra's mates, a guy called Devon, who runs top-of-the-range skiing type expeditions, so knows high net worth clients. A guy called Jasper, who owns a couple of restaurants. Jasper's girlfriend, Madison, whose father has invested in Skyline. A green blogger, if you will, called Mia. Ezra's PA called Astrid, and of course Ben and Chloe. So that's the passengers, and we have certainly a mixed bunch. We have a captain called Fritz Schaefer, 2 pilots, Frieja and Jacob, and they're probably the steadiest bunch on the ship. We have a chief steward called Niam, who's been working in the Caribbean yachts and wonders why she's taking the chief steward's job for an airship flying to the North Pole. Barman called Liam, stewards Jade and Ivy. So we have a lot of people. And as the tale unfolds, it turns out a lot of these people have secrets, and thus the murder mystery. The airship takes off okay from a place called Longyearbyen, which is Norway, and they're off to the North Pole. They encounter a bit of a storm on the way, but nothing that they're not used to, and things are going well until one of the guests is found dead. It's originally thought that the airship, which is powered by helium, if you will, is that there's been some sort of leak. And they've all got individual cabins, and the person who died has got sort of bluish tint to their lips, and they're assuming it's a helium leak. But as the trip goes on, it becomes apparent that maybe this wasn't an accident. And the only problem is that various people have theories, and you're in an airship, you can't go anywhere, you can't do anything, and whilst the food and drink is flowing, but people begin to suspect other people, and thinking that this isn't all that it seems. There's also a problem where things start going wrong on the ship. They're caught on the edge of the storm, and all of a sudden strange things start happening. All of a sudden it's really, really cold, and the heating system seems to have stopped working. The chef is having problems, Gwyn the chef, finding that somebody's turned his fridge off in the middle of the night. And it's almost as if there's a saboteur involved. So thus the tale unfolds. We have various people who have got secrets. Some have got problems that are personal, some have got financial problems, some business problems. And thus we have a whole bunch of characters that are on the airship. And Chloé is trying to piece together, who's who, who's got a motive, and who could possibly have committed the murder. So, really enjoyable book. It's very, very atmospheric. You're travelling to the North Pole on an airship, and it talks about fields of reindeer and bears and maybe it's this time of year, but it's. I found that the descriptive nature of where the airship was travelling was very good. The characters are well drawn. You don't actually find out who the perpetrator of the murder is until right towards the end of the story. So it's another great effort from Tom Hindle. I really enjoyed it. I'd give it 7 out of 10 any day of the week. Really enjoyable read. Usual things in the murder mystery. Lots of blind alleys. There are personal problems, as I said, financial problems. There's even commercial problems because there's another firm trying to launch airships as well, and therefore it's really important that this test flight goes well. So lots of things going on, lots of twists and turns. Really good read. So I'd give it 7 out of 10 any day of the week. The story is 353 pages. I read it in a couple of sessions. So I think that's it for this week's brief book review. Good murder mystery. If you like a Agatha Christie type mystery, then this is probably an Agatha Christie for the modern age. Really enjoyed it. Looking forward to the next Tom Hindle book. That's it for this week's brief book review. Thanks for watching. 10/10 till we do it again.